George Van Meter's small farm was in Dorcas Hollow, just 5 miles south of the present site of Petersburg, West Virginia. George was a carpenter from Germany. He had settled with his family at Dorcas when there were 15 families in the whole county. At that time, the Huron Indians were rampaging throughout the whole valley. Some of the early settlers had already been killed in Indian raids. George was one of the many isolated farmers whose cabins were a good way from the settlement. On the morning of July 4th, while most of the settlement was preparing for the coming Independence Day celebration, George was in a small field near his cabin. His son David was helping him while the rest of the family was getting ready to leave for the big day at the settlement. George and young David had stopped for a much-needed rest when a small band of Indians came running out of the woods across the field. George told David to run for the cabin and take the others to the settlement. He would try to fight off the band long enough for the boy to get the family to safety. That was the last time any of George's family was to see him alive. David made it to the settlement with the rest of the family and warned the townfolk. A group of men accompanied by David left to rescue George. When they reached the farm, a sickening sight met their eyes. The ox George was plowing with had been killed, and the cabin had been burned to the ground. Only the chimneys that had stood at each end of the cabin were left. George's body was found a few feet from the smoldering cabin he had given his life for. His head had been completely severed from his body. Although the men searched the farm the rest of the day and into the night, they did not find the head. The next day, the whole settlement prepared for an Indian attack. The Indians never showed up at the settlement, but George's head did. On the day after the raid, a small boy found a cooking pot on the steps of the meeting house cabin. When he opened the pot while other settlers looked on, they found George's lifeless face staring at them. The Indians had boiled his head in the pot, a most horrifying sight to behold. For years after the event, no one would go near the Van Meter place. There was a reason for this. Some people said that on several occasions a headless body had been seen wandering about the old ruins as if it were searching for something. Was it possible that George could have been coming back searching for his ill-fated head? Today, the two chimneys can still be seen from Route 28 out of Petersburg. Most people pass the site, never realizing the story that lies beyond those chimneys.